EA had one of the most successful years in Sims history, but on the other hand, the brand new marketplace feature is failing, and it seems from an insider report that we did get that EA knows that and they're just not worried. We're going to get into why the marketplace is supposed to be replacing that missing magic we used to get from expansion packs, and we're going to be breaking down what the marketplace actually is, why it's not landing with players, what EA expected versus the reality, and how creator kits and CC play all into this. But before I do want to quickly say, what is up, guys? My name is Simian. My name is Yin. I play The Sims. Did you see what I did there? And if you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. We do all things Sim news, so if you have anything you want me to talk about, just go ahead and leave it down below in the comments. I love talking to y'all, and I love hearing your opinions, but let's get into the video. I want to quickly start talking about the marketplace because, again, the marketplace was supposed to be it. The idea felt very on brand for EA. Now, a lot of creators definitely disagreed with this, and I'm one of the people that was kind of like looking at it very side eye. And it was not full of expansion packs, not even full of kits, but even more like bite-sized content drops that they thought was going to be something bigger than kits. Because again, they have the creator maker program. Now, honestly, I don't think this was some last-minute EA decision. This does feel planned because if you look at the direction of The Sims 4 over the years, more kits, more smaller paid content, and more frequent drops, the marketplace kind of fit right into that ecosystem. But I do want to quickly talk about this article, which everything will be linked down below, and this is all thanks to the Sims community.info, where the maker packs were more interesting, they'd be selling better, and this is coming from an EA insider. So again, we have more information on this. They did state that they got more information on the marketplace performance without going too deeply into it. EA's not happy that the content being made for the marketplace isn't as good as interesting as either the EA or creator kits, and believes if the maker packs were more interesting, they'd be selling better. Similar to a lot of the kits that have been already came out, and it did even state that it's going to be interesting to see how they address this. Do they avoid the Sims 4 brand entirely and brand it in a new game and hope people don't question it? Exactly how similar it is to the Sims 4, or do they acknowledge the Sims 4 and then deal with the backlash of why not all DLC carries over? So there's a lot of things going on with Project X and Marketplace and the Sims 4 all going together. Now, this is where it starts to get a little wonky from the Sims community response, and y'all bear with me with this entire video because a lot of it is going to be a little bit all over the place, but hopefully I am making sense to y'all. So I feel like, according to what the Sims community stated, not because the marketplace is failing completely, but because the content on the other hand just isn't hitting, right? So EA isn't happy that the marketplace content isn't as good or interesting as official kits or creator kits and all that other jazz, but I feel like those work because they added something new, but the marketplace, a lot of players feel like it's just more of the same. And that's just my opinion. That's what I've just been seeing on Twitter, Tumblr, Patreon, all that jazz. So there's nothing groundbreaking, nothing that makes you go, oh wait, I need that in my game, because people can already find that somewhere else. But that's my personal opinion on it. Y'all let me know down below in the comments how y'all feel about that. So there is a lot of, tension going on between creator kits versus the marketplace, and we've all known this because we think that they've gotten that idea from kits, but y'all let me know down below in the comments how y'all feel about this. So this is where things start to get a little ironic because EA actually had a really smart idea where they partnered with CC creators because people already love CC creators. So to make this content official, it was like, this is the big deal, and it worked. Okay, like Comfy Gamer, Modern Lux, they did really well. So because players already trusted like those creators, it felt like, all right, I'm gonna pay for something, at least I know what the quality is there, you know what I'm saying? But I think EA misunderstood why people felt that way in the first place. I feel like the reason people love CC is because it was free, creative, and it was already from the community, you know what I mean? So there was like this, I don't know, this is where, like, okay, I'm going to try and make this make sense as much as I can. So when you start charging for that same community that was also creative, you know what I mean? It changes the vibe. I feel like this is where I personally feel like they missed an opportunity. So imagine if like all the CC collaborations were just base game updates. That's how I personally feel like they should have been to begin with. But again, that's a conversation for another day. But also, I just feel like this would have strengthened also the community. I don't know. Y'all let me know. I feel like this would have made people be like, oh crap, the Sims team actually gives a damn, and it kept players more engaged long term instead of it just becoming another buy. And that's what the marketplace feels like. It just feels like another microtransaction that they couldn't keep up with, and a lot of people feel some kind of way about that. But before I even get into something totally different that I want to talk about, I want to quickly address the fact that EA has already stated that at the end of the day, they're not really worried about the Sims marketplace failing because they have so many more things planned. And on top of that, that is just a small micro area of financial because the DLC is getting bigger. Let's get into the article really quick. Now, the insider does go on to state that whether the direction of Max's developers in charge of the marketplace or the decision of CC makers wasn't clear, EA isn't too concerned at the moment because money for existing DLC is still coming through strong. The Sims 4 is moments away from having more unit sales of its DLC than The Sims 1, 2, 3 combined, including storefronts. So the revenue is still going strong, but they do see dips in sales across the board when there's new packs to keep things fresh, and the marketplace was supposed to refresh that. Now, I did go ahead and take a look at the EA website, and they're standing strong on the impact reports that 2025 had of being the biggest year ever. So they're not really stressing because at the end of the day, the DLC is still selling. So that's where I feel like there's this big contradiction from the community versus the reality of what we're actually receiving. So here's the part that really makes this whole thing kind of interesting and what I really actually wanted to talk about, because it does feel like everyone is stating they're done with The Sims 4, right? People are like, I'm frustrated, I don't want to deal with this, like everything is just so that the game is always broken. People are always saying that they're quitting, but y'all, the numbers don't lie. The numbers are telling a completely different story. The Sims 4 is still selling DLC like crazy, pulling huge players, and staying like super relevant. So I think that in fact it's on track to outperform the Sims games combined in DLC sales, which they already have stated that it is. So what does that mean? Let's talk about it, because I really want to know y'all opinions, because people are always not y'all, I don't want to get my community in a frenzy, but you know, just the community in general, and I can be guilty of it too as well, that people are saying that this is how I feel about EA. But again, at the end of the day, something's got to give, because somebody not lying. It's coming through. The money is coming through somehow, some way. And that's why EA isn't panicking, because from a business perspective, everything is working. But let's talk about the marketplace I really want to get into and why the marketplace isn't working. And I feel like when it comes down to the marketplace in specific, it really comes down to one thing. It doesn't offer anything that players can't already get, which I explained earlier, and that's like mods, CCs, or even existing DLC. But there's no strong kind of like incentive there's just no like motivation to stay in the marketplace, shall I say. And EA knows that. So they said themselves that people check it out, but they don't stick around, and that's a retention problem, not a discovery problem. So I thought that was a very interesting take on it, because again, people are more like, this is an interesting, cool, yeah, but I don't really give a F, you know? So I would love to know your opinions down below and how y'all feel about this. And where I stand with it is that I haven't really purchased anything off the marketplace. I know it's a creator collab, and I love CC creators and I love supporting them. But I just haven't felt myself needing to actually go out my way for it. Now, I do feel like there is a place for it, especially when it comes down to console and as a formal console player. But I've heard responses from console, especially in my last video, stating that we don't give a about this either, and that it's constantly breaking, and that this sucks, and that nobody kind of wants to deal with that. So I don't know. I'm a little confused on what's going on. I don't know where The Sims 4 is headed. I think there is a lot to say about The Sims 4 in general, not even just the franchise, but especially talking about in-game. There is just a lot of people going every which way, not really knowing where to turn and where to go, and basically overall just trying to figure out what is next for The Sims in general. And I think a lot of people just have a big question mark over The Sims 4. I've seen some people say that I've just stopped playing it overall, and I've seen some people say that they just are going to continue to play it because they are simmers at the end of the day, but they will, definitely be making some changes and holding boundaries on what they decide to download and what they decide to use. It was kind of like that big icon that they had in the corner where they were like, please buy this, and it kept popping up, and they got so much backlash they took the feature and was like, okay, wait, hold on. So there's that. But I want to know what y'all think about it. I want to hear from y'all. Do y'all think the marketplace just needs better content to succeed, or do you think this whole system was never going to work in a game similar to The Sims? But again, I don't know, paid content or free base game updates. Y'all let me know down below in the comments. And with that all being said, whether you're a silent viewer, you like my videos, you comment on my videos, or you share my videos, at the end of the day, you still showed me some love, and for that, I thank you. I will see you guys all in the next video. Bye.